Welcome to the subscriber requested Practice With Me episode. My name is Dani Walker and I'll be your pageant coach for the day. If you're a contestant preparing for a competition, check out the free pageant prep course that is linked in the description below. That's going to provide additional resources for you. If you enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell. And if you'd like to know another way to support the channel, you can do so by hitting that super thanks button, checking out the merch store, or simply by sharing this episode with a friend. For today's episode, we'll be practicing onstage questions from teen pageants. I'm going to state the questions with some context, and then you will have 30 seconds to share your answer. The first set of questions come from the 2020 Miss Teen USA competition. Your first question is this. Nearly 1 in 4 teens say they connect with their teachers less than once a week. Do you believe it's possible for distance learning to be effective despite a lack of in-person engagement? It has been said that all politics are local. With that in mind, what law would you like to see enacted in your own state? If you could choose one book as a mandatory read for all teens, what would it be and why? Do you believe college tuition should be free for all Americans? Why or why not? What has experiencing a global pandemic taught you about life? How are you feeling after those questions? I hope you're feeling challenged. If you feel a little overwhelmed, take a breath. You can pause this episode before we start our next set of questions. And if you're enjoying the episode so far, comment Queen down below. The next set of questions were asked at the 2021 USA National Miss Teen competition. The first question I'm going to ask is going to reference the pageant's service initiative. If you're unfamiliar with this service initiative, you can check it out on their official website. You may be familiar with it if you follow the USA National Miss Pageant system, but If you aren't, that's okay. You can still do your best to answer this question. And I do want to mention that it is very important while you are preparing for any level of pageantry to be very familiar with a pageant system's charitable initiatives or official nonprofits. This should be a part of your interview and onstage pageant prep. How has spreading the message of The Crown Cares impacted you personally? The next question I'm going to ask is in reference to this particular pageant system's motto. If you're unfamiliar with this motto, that is okay. Still do your best to answer this question. How have you lived out the positive pageantry philosophy that USA National Miss stands for? If you were to become the next USA national team, what would your plan of action be to better the world for today's youth? Those are all the questions I have for you today. You can sigh a breath of relief. You did a great job challenging yourself today in this episode. You should be proud of that. Please continue to work on those communication skills and those onstage question skills, especially if you feel like this is an area of weakness for you. The only way to improve is to continue that practice. If you want to continue your practice, you can try out some Miss on Stage questions in these other episodes that I'll link in the corner. There is a playlist for these episodes that I would encourage you to check out if you really want to give some time to that on-stage question practice. I hope that you enjoyed the episode though, and that you chose to subscribe, and don't forget to share this episode with a friend as well if you believe it'll help them prepare for their next competition. I appreciate you joining me, and I hope that you'll come back for lots more.